However, one important distinction that we should maintain, that is, it's not perfect, it's not past, because that would be preteritum. It's present perfect. Yeah, it refers to certain criteria. So let's see what criteria are there where you refer to perfect in a sentence. Yeah, for example, Partizip 2, Partizip 1. That we'll do more of it in the in the course after after the bridge course. However, just a minute, I'll just let someone in. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Partizip perfect. Yeah, Partizip perfect shows that yeah, this is the verb form of the There are, for example, just a preview would be that Partizip 1 would be, for example, uh, you're warming the water. Yeah, kochendes Wasser. That would be Partizip 1. Partizip 2 would be gekochtes Wasser. Yeah. However, the participle zwei form is also important because we use it as perfect, yeah, in the sentence, and it has a meaning of its own. And for example, there are two things, two criterias, yeah, to use that we need to, that we need to remember, the whether the use of perfect is valid or not. And the first criteria is an action which has been done, yeah, very recently. Uh, for example, by vollendete Gegenwart, yeah, I mean an action which was done in present, but a few moments ago, and it's still in the present, but you can refer to as past. It's not as past as that last month was my birthday, but it is that you just sie hat den Apfel gegessen, zum Beispiel, yeah. So it's very quotidian, so to say. It's very routine, daily. It might be. Sie hat den Apfel gegessen. However, it's not in the present. Yeah, you can't say she is den Apfel. That would be something different. Yeah, that she is in the process of eating the eating the fruit. However, here this action is already complete. So in that case, we refer to it as present perfect in English, and that would be perfect of Deutsch. So vollendete Gegenwart, that would be one. Yeah, you are still talking about something, but an action which just happened, just while back, and that would come under present perfect. Then there is a second criteria that we need to remember. Yeah. For example, again, there are some actions which you use. However, you can't, just they are so routine that you don't you're not likely to refer to them after a period of time. Yeah, that 2 years ago I opened the door, for example. Yeah, you'd refer to him in a sense of you're talking about something, but they are still, they just happened a while ago. Uh, just a short while ago, and similar action would be ich habe die Tür geöffnet. Yeah, it's not very significant in itself. It's a sort of a routine. However, if you are narrating something to someone, yeah, that happened. Yeah, okay, yesterday was my birthday. That I opened the door and there were lots of people. Yeah, and all of them were there, right? To my surprise. For example, you are narrating it to somebody mündlich. That would be, that would come under this Ich habe die Tür geöffnet, so to say. Or you are talking about, sie ist, then Apfel, that would be present, continuous, as to that she is still in the process. However, this might have happened a few minutes ago or something, but the process has seen the completion, and now you can refer it in the past, although not in the past tense. That's where the perfect comes in. So these are the two uses, and one important distinction to maintain. Although perfect, we tend to use it everywhere, but stylistically speaking, there is a difference. Yeah. For example, it's used mostly in gesprochene Sprache. You are narrating something or something. Yeah. Sie erzählen, ja, jemandem von was. Ja. Ich habe einen Beispiel von Geburtstag gegeben, oder? So in that case, you are recounting the events that happened last night or something. So you are saying, so in that case, you would use perfect. Ja. So gesprochene Sprache, ein Gespräch zwischen zwei Menschen. Dort, ja, du kannst, ja, perfekt benutzen, sprachlich gesehen, aber in der schriftlichen Sprache, das bedeutet in Bücher, Literatur, Zeitungen und so weiter, in all diesen, in allen diesen Bereichen, dort benutzt man Präteritum lieber als perfekt. Ja? So, Präteritum would be, for example, a very, uh, so did you guys do Märchen or fairy tales in the first year? Any Märchen in the class? You must have done some reading, right, in the class, Leser verstehen. So there would be some Märchen of Grimm's or something of that sort, stories.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So all of the stories in that, so the one common thing, for example, in English you say, for example, in English you say, once upon a time there was, for example, a king. Yeah. Once upon a time there was a king. Yeah. Auf Deutsch geht das auch so. Einst, ja. Es war einmal. Yeah. Es war einmal. So it's already in the distant past. Whatever you are narrating, it's already in the distant past. And perfect would not be the suitable, suitable form to use in that case. So preteritum, as I mentioned about the fairy tales and the other things, this is very written form. If you are writing about something, for example, now you are in the second year history course, so you might encounter this. There are some topics about, for example, Berliner Mauer und so weiter, and there are Zweite Weltkrieg and many other things. Yeah, if you are discussing it amongst yourselves as classmates, then you can use, okay, informal communication. You're writing an email or a message to your colleague, your friend, then you can use perfect, absolutely. However, if you're writing the same history lesson for an exam, for a history question, then you would use, the stylistically speaking, that would be the correct thing to do, that you use preteritum. Yeah. Am 13. August 1961 war Berliner Mauer errichtet und so weiter und so fort. Ja, am diesem Datum war der Krieg beendet. So that would be, so Geschichte zum Beispiel, history, that would go to this sentence, tense. However, if you are speaking in informal terms with your classmates or something, you can always use, uh, so the spoken conversation or even written conversation amongst your known people, you can use that. However, in formal spheres, so to say, formal domains, you would use preteritum. I hope all of it is clear to everybody. Any doubts regarding these before what is the backdrop of perfect, so to say? Any doubts here?
Sir, can we speak
Preteritum as an informal conversation, like
And
with friends.
rather no. It would be that you are narrating something. If you are narrating something informally to your friends, you tend to, yeah, ich habe, then, yeah. So you are going somewhere and you are telling that what adventure it was or something. For example, if you take that, you
Okay.
would always, yeah, use perfect over there. However, if you are writing about it in a memoir, or you are writing about the experience that it was, yeah, for an article, you would use preteritum, so to say, right? So there's a difference. You might refer to it in some chat or some email to your class. See, that's the adventure I did, for example, and there you can use to, yeah, you are known people. There you can use perfect. However, formally speaking, that would be preteritum. Yeah. So that's the difference. Just remember it like if you are speaking about literature or uh, let's say history, for example, since it's very relevant for you in the other course, you would use preteritum, not perfect. You won't say Amerika hat, USA hat, den Zweiten Weltkrieg gewonnen. That's incorrect. Yeah. Oder yeah, Deutschland. Uh, so, for example, that would be one example how we use preteritum. Yeah, in all the, yeah, say newspaper language, if you will see, or any other sort of formal language, there you will see preteritum. Yeah, perfect in gesprochene and informal. Yeah. So let's so in contrast to English construction of present perfect, we have, for example, in English, we only have as present, yeah, in perfect form, we have only have as a helping verb. However, here we have two helping verbs. For example, in and it depends on the, yeah, certain, there are certain rules as to which helping verb would be applicable. Yeah, with the perfect, yeah, form. And here it would be sein oder haben plus Partizip 2. That would be perfect. Yeah. So let's do some examples, and I'll try to ask. So these are some of the observations that I made as to, because it's imperative that you remember each and every verb's perfect perfect form. Yeah, and I know there are other things as well, and that's why it helps to have some, yeah, some sort of criteria. For example, the last week we did that verbs with be. For example, in case of accusative or the casus, yeah, accusative or the dative, we have done that all verbs beginning with be a, yeah. For example, they take accusative, no matter what. Yeah, that's an observation, and now that you know, you can use it. Yeah, ich antworte dir, ich beantworte dich, zum Beispiel. So that helps a little bit. So that's why similarly we are doing this. That these are some of the variants that you will encounter when you remember the perfect forms of every verb. So so the first variant here is you uh, that you add gay a in the front, and you add, yeah, so you add gay a in the front and you use the radical, that is the core of the verb, and you end it with te. Yeah. For example, what would be the, yeah, what is the infinitive form for these?
Kaufen,
Kaufen,
spielen, sagen, machen,
Makan,
rauchen,
rauchen,
gereichen,
no,
reichen,
Ryzen, Ryzen,
reden,
Mhm.
dagegen, hören.
okay. So these are the infinitive forms. However, if you see, there is something called, yeah, radical, that is the core of the word, yeah, and that is kaufen. For example, if you conjugate the verbs, yeah, ich kaufe, du kaufst, und so weiter, you see that there is a one root, so to say, which comes in every each and every form, yeah, be it do, or be it ear, or be it vrs, yeah, any of these. So that would be the root. So you need to consider that you conjugate in the perfect accordingly, that gekauft, yeah. So there are many other verbs. If you remember some, yes, some of them apart from these, then please pitch in.
Gebracht.
Gebracht, no, that would come under some different category, but yeah, very good. Any other? We have it over here, but yeah, any other in this simple that turns into, yeah,
Gelegt.
gelegt, yeah, correct, gelegt, that would geantwortet, yeah, that's correct, gehabt, yeah,
Getanzt.
getanzt, yes, yeah, geschaut, no, by
Gemacht.
gemacht, I think it's already there, but yeah, give it.
Genannt. Genannt.
Genannt, that would be something different, and that would come under
Getauscht.
tauscht, yeah. So there are many other verbs which, yeah, which are simply, so to say, yeah, conjugated, yeah, accordingly. They are turned into perfect form just by adding ge a in the beginning and te at the end, yeah. Okay, then there is another form, yeah, another variant, and that is that you begin with ge a again, and you end it with en, yeah. So these are some of the verb forms, and for example, if you see the pattern over here, this is sort of infinitive, yeah. All of these apart from ge a, they are in their infinitive, yeah, similar to what they are in infinitive. For example, gekommen, what's the infinitive?
Kommen.
And of gefahren.
Fahren. Fahren, geben, schlafen, lesen, fangen.
Okay, so this one is simple. Some of the verbs that they are, you just add ge a, so that's another variant to remember. Then there are third type of, yeah, third variant of this, yeah, how to make perfect form, and that would be that you use ge a, right, and it might be the ending might be te, or the an, yeah, it depends. However, the important fact here is that vowel changes in the verb form. For example, so let's try these one out. What are the infinitive forms of these?
trinken,
Trinken, helfen,
helfen,
finden, schreiben, wissen, and treffen.
Sehr gut. So these are the forms. For example, trinken, it has e, yeah, I of English, e, and here it is u, getrunken, yeah, that changes, right? Similarly, here it is a, e of English, and it changes to o, yeah, geholfen. It's not gehelfen, and it's not getrinken, it's getrunken, geholfen. It's not gefunden, it's gefunden, yeah. So finden changes into gefunden, and then there is this schreiben. However, it's not geschrieben, it's geschrieben, yeah. You interchange the order here, yeah. So geschrieben, and this is something different. Gewusst, gewisst. It's not gewisst as to wissen, but gewusst, and treffen, that is getroffen. So the vowel changes in the middle, right? So the next one is somebody already referred to these. However, there are slight changes apart from the vowel changes, which are not related to vowel changes over here, right? And these verbs are little different from these. If you remember, yeah, if you can remember them, yeah, very good. So, what are the infinitive forms of these three?
Uh,
Bringen, Duncan, Essen.
Second one is wrong. Anybody else?
Denken.
Dankin. Yeah, that's the correct one. It's not Duncan. Duncan would be, yeah, that would be something different. That would be Gedan. Und here it is Denkin. However, it has no correlation. It's not Gedenken, it's Gedacht. And these are some of the examples where you need to remember it. Yeah. For example, in English, you also see bring, brought. Yeah. Think, thought. Yeah. So there are some changes and you need to remember them. So this is the another variant. So by far we have done three or four. One which ends with yeah, te, ge am Anfang und te am Ende. Then there is another which is yeah, similar to what we have as infinitive, but you just add ge in the beginning. Then there is third variant where you have one vowel change, right? In all of these. Another is that you have slight change in the verb as to yeah, denken gedacht, yeah. And for example, over here, you can't say geessen, yeah. So in order to repeat, yeah, avoid this repeat, geessen, that would be little difficult. That's why there is gegessen. So these are four, and now moving on, there are some verbs which have English equivalent and they sound like yeah, funktioniert, kontrolliert, montiert, informiert, yeah. All of these verbs they don't require. First of all, they don't require gay a form. Yeah, Anfang. They just require uh, eert at the end. So, for example, what would be the uh, infinitive form of these four?
Informieren,
Yeah,
montieren, Tyrian,
Montieren,
Monti, montieren, controllieren, funktionieren.
genau. So, however, if you conjugate it, yeah, if you change it into perfect, that would be just eert. Yeah, all of these would. Any other examples? If there are to some, yeah, somebody who wants to pitch in this variant,
reparieren,
yeah, repariert, very good.
Telefonieren.
Telefonieren, ja, sehr gut. Telefoniert, kopiert, fotografiert, zum Beispiel.
Sir, control your N.
Yes, that's already there.
Entnazifizieren,
Yeah, and Nazifizieren, that's yeah, straight from the history. However, this works. Yeah, this works under this category. Yeah, and Nazifiziert or
Spielen,
yeah,
spionieren,
Spionieren. Yeah, exactly. This also comes under this. Yeah, the where you make the verb as this. Yeah, ear, earen. So spioniert. Yeah, that's also. So all of these they change as they don't take GA. So please keep that in mind. It's not never gefunktioniert. It's yeah. So it's simply you just add a te am end. Okay. So the next category or next variant would be these verbs which don't take ge am Anfang, yeah, in their perfect form. So remember these, yeah, these at the beginning. If there are these words at the beginning, so to say, they don't take ge as the simple, yeah, the verb forms with that we did. So, for example, let's do the infinitive form of these. What are the infinitive?
Bestellen, beantworten, verkaufen, erlauben, erklären, erzählen, zerstören.
Yeah, erzählen, zerstören. So all of these, yeah. So you can't just, for for example, you can't remove this part or this part and replace it with gay. Yeah, you just let it. Uh, this would be at the beginning of the sentences as they are, and you would add a te or something. However, but this remains. Yeah, all of it. So this is another. Then there is yeah issue of trennbare verben. Yeah. So in that we need to do it because it's trennbare. Where do we say at this beginning? That's important part over here. So this is this comes in the front. However, Sashturin, that's not trennbar. Yeah. However, here there are some examples. Yeah, who tried these one out? What are the infinitive forms of these? Anyone else?
Anfangen,
Yeah,
yes, sir. Anfangen, ankommen, einkaufen,
yeah.
zurückkommen, auf, aufhören, ausstellen.
Ausstellen. Okay, so these are correct. All of these are correct. Any other, for example, any other?
Auf, aufgewacht.
Aufgewacht. Ja, richtig. Aufgewacht. Any other?
Einfangen.
Einfangen. Ja.
Kennengelernt.
Kennengelernt. Ja, that's a good one. Aufgemacht.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's correct. Any other example? For example, let's put kennengelernt over here.
Angezogen.
Angezogen. Yes, that's also correct. So that comes before, before there are two parts, and this one goes to the back of the sentence in the infinitive form. For example, ich habe angefangen, that would be perfect. Aber ich fange an. So the part that goes at the end. So you would use in the perfect form as simple as that you would not put ge anfangen, sondern angefangen. Yeah, the root verb that there is. So you would conjugate it accordingly or use the perfect form. Then there are two verbs where there is no change required. Yeah, to formulate a perfect of those. Bekommen, it remains bekommen because it's common where it comes from, like the word, this root. It's gekommen. However, you can't change anything over here because it's begins with be. So bekommen, and there is vergessen. Yeah, these two verbs remain as they are. No change is required. Then there are modal verben. Yeah, which you need to, for example, make perfect form out of these. And yeah, can somebody read these out? And what are the infinitive forms of these?
Können, müssen, dürfen, wollen und sollen.
Yeah, können, müssen, dürfen, and gekonnt, gemusst, gedurft, gewollt, gesollt. So one thing that you need to remember is over in these that in all three of them there are no umlauts in the perfect form. Yeah. For example, wollen, that is in itself it doesn't have or sollen. However, dürfen, müssen, können in perfect form they lose their umlaut over here. So it's simple. Then there are three verbs which are important due to your because they are helping verbs in their own sense. That werden is used in the past in the passive voice, and these are used as helping verb in perfect sentences. So gewesen, that's the perfect form of sein. Gehabt, and geworden. Yeah, these are the three. So since we have done the first part, and that is that how do you build a perfect sentence, and that would be that you use participe zwei, and these are all participe zwei, right? And as we will go, yeah, uh, as we will continue in this course, you will see that these are not only used as, yeah, as at the end of the sentence. You can always make sentences which are more complex than this. Yeah, uh, ich habe, ja, ich habe, ich habe meine verkaufte Motorrad gesehen. Mein verkauftes Motorrad gesehen. For example, you're going somewhere and you saw that person that you sold to, but that comes later. For example, so this was a one, yeah, this was your bike that you sold to someone, and now you saw it somewhere. So, or these are the participles why, and that we'll do later in this course once we begin with second day stuff. However, over here, this is participles why. This part we have done. But the question is, how do we identify, since we don't have the luxury of English, that we only have haben as helping verb here? So how do we identify, what are the criteria to identify whether it requires sein as a helping verb or haben? So there are some of these that you need to keep those in mind. So these are the Modal Beispiele. Kann jemand das vorlesen? Uh,
Sie ist gestern von Düsseldorf nach Berlin gekommen.
ja,
Er
jemand
hat
anders? Jemand anders?
Er hat seine Schulfreunde getroffen.
Okay, these are the two sentences. Also, here this is gekommen. That way you can identify that is a perfect sentence. It always comes in the end. But the helping verb here is ist. In this case, it is hat, getroffen. So what are some of the criteria here? First of all, die Verben, die mit Bewegung zu tun haben. Yeah, motion verbs, for example. Kommen, gehen, fahren, laufen, rennen, ankommen. All of these verbs, they require sein, right, as a helping verb over here. Then there are verbs which are which, so to say, they show a change in state, right? For example, let's have a look at these four. Can you see a change of state in all these four verbs? Einschlafen, what is the change of state?
Aufwachen.
Einschlafen, that what does
It,
Einschlafen mean?
it means
To go
well,
to sleep.
Yeah, it's not sleep. Schlafen is sleep. Er schläft, zum Beispiel. He is already in the state of sleep. Einschlafen, yeah. Ich schlafe ein. I'm going to sleep. Yeah, that's a change. Yeah, that's a change in state, right? Uh, you were wide awake until then, and now you want to sleep. That's a change in state. Similarly, aufstehen, wake up, right? You were sleeping and now you are changing, yeah, your state as to you are, yeah, waking up. That is also so. In this case, then there is sterben. So what is the, yeah, what's the perfect form for sterben?
Gestorben.
Gestorben. Yeah, this is also state, yeah, change in state as to how, simply with regards to life. Yeah, then there is geboren. Yeah, and the, what would be the infinitive form from geboren? Although nobody uses it, but you can always keep that in mind. Gebären. However, it's always used as ist geboren because you never use it again. Yeah. Ich bin am 17. Oktober geboren und so weiter. So you always use it as bin geboren, sozusagen. Yeah. Also, so these are the verbs which show change in state, and these are motion verbs, and all of these they have sein as helping verb. Then there are two helping verbs which also take sein, and that's sein itself. Also sein, nochmals, was ist die perfect form von sein?
gewesen,
Gewesen. Und von werden?
Geworden.
geworden,
Geworden. Also, so any doubts as to these, what we have done until now? Yeah, perfect formen. Are there any doubts in these or this part? Let me know.
Sir, with swimmen, is it a motion verb? Swimmen.
Yeah, motion verbs.
Okay.
I'm not able to hear you. Yeah, can you repeat?
Okay. Well, I have a question. That swimmen. Swimmen is motion verb. Then
Yeah,
it's been. Uh, what would be the perfect sentence?
schwimmen is a motion verb. So, for
Swimmen.
example,
Then this
schwimmen,
being
about schwimmen, I'm not sure whether it's if it's a motion verb, it would come under. Yeah, it would come under. Yeah, for example, over here, it would come under this sein. However, I'll check and I'll let you know. Since I can't, yeah, say right now, ich habe geschwimmen now, but yeah, I'll check and I'll let you know. Any other, yeah, any other verb forms which you have, like any other motion verbs, or yeah, which we can check and
Sir, is there any exception in both categories?
in exception in both categories, since both of these categories are small, really small. All of, for example, we also did something related to, yeah, for example, motion verbs. They were also there when we did nominative. Yeah, some of them. You remember, for example, foreign was an exception, which takes nominative as well as accusative. Ishkome, ishke, yeah, all of these were, so to say, schwimmen. Somebody was saying schwimmen, right? But schwimmen could be an intransitive verb, yeah, which doesn't take any object, and that's why it can't. It can be. That's why I'm not sure whether it takes haben or design, because it's an intransitive verb. Whether it shows motion, yeah, that would be, yeah. So I need to check that and I'll let you know. However, these, whether there are some exceptions or not, this list in itself, it's a very short one, right? Because most of these take nominative, as we did it with the cases. And change in state, that's also, these are also some limited verbs. However, if you come to know some more about these, if there are some more to the list, you can always add to it, and or let your classmates know, or write in the class comment or some section. Yeah. And for example, Hilfsverben, that's also, yeah. So in this case, sein is hardly used, so to say 10 or 20% of the sentences. Mostly it's haben. Sein is used in these specific cases, for example. And any other questions? Okay, then we move on. And that's why it's important, because sein itself is an exception, so to say, in terms of present perfect. And that's why we have here all non-motion verbs, yeah, all the remaining verbs which are not sein, yeah, they come under, yeah, gestern bin ich im Fluss geschoben, yeah. Yeah, I would need to check it, and I'll let you know in the when I write to you after the class, when I'll give the document, I'll let you know yeah, whether it's correct or not grammatically. So I can't comment on that right now. So haben, for example, that's the most verbs. That's the helping word that most verbs use, and that's why here, except these three categories, we use haben. Yeah. So machen, malen, gemalt, gelesen, geschrieben, reden oder Modalverben zum Beispiel. So Modalverben that we already did over here, right? And Hilfsverben, out of three helping verbs, haben uses. So gehabt, that's the perfect. So what's the formula now? Now we have done the both parts of this perfect form, participle zwei, yeah, and the helping verbs, which comes and which is, yeah. So these you need to remember on your own. These are some of the variants, and these are the few indicators as to why. So Subjekt, sein und haben am zweiten, yeah, verb. So in this case, like the modal verb sentence, you have, yeah. So in modal verb, ich kann, yeah, Spanish, yeah, ich kann Spanish lernen, yeah, oder ich kann Spanish sprechen. There you have können at the second place. Similarly, that would be over here. Helping verb will be at the second place. Participle zwei, that is the perfect form, that will be, yeah, am Ende, and that remains the structure uh, in other cases as well. Frage Wort, ja, oder Zeitangabe am 17 Uhr hat ja, hat die, ja, sozusagen Dokument bekommen, hat die, sozusagen Brief bekommen. So that would be, in that case as well, always remember the verb in the second place, and here by verb it's helping verb. Yeah, we feel Uhr ist, yeah, we feel, or in other form of Fragewort, always the structure remains the same. Sein und haben am zweiten Platz und Partizip zwei am Ende. Then in the other classes, yeah, a few weeks ago, somebody asked what is the perfect form of, yeah, we were doing modal verb, and somebody asked what's the perfect form of this modal verb. Yeah, at that time I told, yeah, we will deal with it, and so here it is. So here are some of the variants. So can someone read this out?
Yes, sir. Ich kann diese Aufgabe fertig machen. Perfekt. Ich
So
habe
perfect, yeah.
diese Aufgabe fertig machen können.
So what is the striking thing over here? For example, we talked about, yeah, participle zwei. So where is the participle zwei over here?
Können machen. Habe is property zwei. Model verb.
Okay, so in case of modal verb perfect, you have something different. For example, it's already conjugated according to the modal verb, yeah, infinitive form. And now that you have perfect as well, so which form? Machen, gemacht, but it's already, due to this, it's already machen over here. So which form will take precedence? Which form will prevail among the two, perfect and modal? And that's why at the end you let it remain infinitive form with können, modal verb going to the end. Yeah. And so we'll see other examples as well. However, if there is a sentence with modal verb itself, which has a infinitive verb at the end, that would be the structure. It won't be gemacht können, it would be machen können. Yeah. However, the important part here to remember is, unlike this structure, where we have participle zwei, or the perfect form am Ende, we have modal verb am Ende. Yeah. This would be infinitive. However, it would end with it can't be Ich habe diese Aufgabe fertig können machen. That's incorrect. It would be machen können. This goes to the end, right? This part goes to the end of the sentence and Ich habe. So that's the two part. Machen können, habe machen können. That's the perfect of modal verb. Then, for example, take this one. Yeah. Can someone read this one out? Second one.
Sie kann es schon.
Sie kann es schon. What does yeah?
Sie hat es schon gekonnt.
Okay. So sie kann es schon. What does können shows here? What does this sentence mean? Anybody? What would be the English equivalent? What would be the translation of this? Sie kann es schon.
She can already do.
So
This could be.
anybody just take a guess. Not a problem. If it's incorrect, but take a guess. What can it be?
Sie kann es gut.
Second, she can do. I think she can
She can.
do it.
Yeah, she can do it. Yeah. Any other?
She can already do it.
Yeah. Also. So if somebody's asking, yeah, spielt spielt Paul die Gitarre? Oder let's say spielt ja spielt Paula die Gitarre und sie kann es schon. You are answering to that question. So the hidden part over here is, which is not relevant because you are referring to it in the previous sentence, is, for example, if I'm saying that this is the somebody is asking and somebody's, so what it shows and why it is not required that you are asking that it's already, yeah, it's already taken that whatever you are asking that somebody is already capable of. It's the question of ability. Ja. Auf Deutsch heißt es auch so. So you will refer to ability as können. Right? If you have some capability that you can, yeah, ich kann Deutsch sprechen, yeah, ich kann das schon machen, or something. So this sentence, the verb is hidden. However, it's perfectly clear that it's a question of ability. Whatever it is, you can make 100 sentences out of what she can do. For example, she can play guitar, she can make, sie kann Kuchen backen, zum Beispiel, or she can, yeah, sie kann schwimmen, or anything else. However, this is the question of ability, können. So what would be the perfect form of here? Sie hat es schon gekonnt. Now, since it's not modal verb, modal verb plus infinitive am Ende, nur modal verb. So it will be, yeah, the perfect of this would be the regular variant that we do. That is with the verb Partizip 2 or the perfect form am Ende. Sie hat es schon gekonnt. She already knows it, she already can do it, she already can play it, or anything else. Or so that would be she had already done it, or she can already do it. Yeah, she can already do it. She have already done it. So that would be the the perfect equivalent of that. So ability to do, sie kann es schon. So that's one construction that you need to keep in mind. For example, there is some sentence in English. For example, somebody says I do, yeah, I did. However, in that sentence, there is something hidden. Have you done your homework? I have done, for example, or I have. So you can always reply with I have. For example, if someone is asking, you are not speaking the full sentence. However, it's sufficient, so to say. In this case, that's the Sie kann es schon spielen. Sie kann es schon machen. Okay, now the third variant. Another example. Can someone kann jemand das vorlesen?
Wir müssen den Unterricht online besuchen.
Ja.
Wir haben den Unterricht online besuchen müssen.
Okay. So what's the change here? We already did the two forms, right? Two variants. First, where you conjugate it like in the perfect form, similar to what we did. And then there is another variant. So where is the perfect form here? If you remember what I told just minutes ago. Also, warum ist hier nicht besucht? Zum Beispiel. Ja. Kann jemand das begründen?
Because modal verb müssen
Ja, Modalverb.
is
Modalverb immer am Ende benutzt.
Okay. See, there are two things, right? It is modal verb plus infinitive, right? Modal verb is here. Nur modal verb, wenn es der Fall ist, nur modal verb, dann dann macht man das so, ja, am Ende. Und helping verb plus perfect form of modal verb. Ja, das ist in Ordnung. Aber hier modal verb plus infinitive. Yeah, that's the variant it is. Modal verb plus infinitive. In this case, as we did, the modal verb goes to the end. Besuchen müssen. Since we can't decide which form to take, infinitive or the perfect, we let it be and we move this to the end, right? For example, in the normal sentences, we also do, Sie kann es schon, we moved it to the end, or any other sentence, if you for that matter. So müssen am Ende, not müssen besuchen, sondern besuchen müssen. So this, if you even don't know whether you are not able to identify its perfect sentence, because there is no perfect form, you need to identify on the basis of this. This construction only occurs in perfect of a Modalverb plus Infinitiv Satz, Und der vierte Satz, wer liest das vor?
Das ist nicht obligatorisch, also wir müssen nicht.
Ja.
Perfekt. Wir haben das nicht gemusst.
Wir haben das nicht gemusst. Let's take another example of that. Right. What would be the perfect of this?
wir also wir dürfen das nicht wir haben das nicht gedurft.
Wir haben das nicht
gedurft.
gedurft. Yeah, sorry. That would be gedurft. Okay. Also, nochmals, das ist perfect form that would be applicable as this. right? So if it's only modal verb in the sentence only, then you conjugate it accordingly. Gekonnt, gemusst, gedurft, gesollt, gewollt. If there is modal verb plus infinitive, then you do it differently. Now, since somebody asked you in that, uh, I know in the previous sessions about this, that's why I have done it extensively with the examples. However, we don't really use it that often. For example, in speaking, you just it's very rare that you make such constructions. Ja, das wir haben den online und ja Unterricht online besuchen müssen. You try not to make it. So, however, grammatically speaking, it's you need to know this, and so that's the case. So it's just in case if that's the question. Yeah. So the structure is modal verb plus infinitive. In this case, you have haben, yeah, verb in infinitive und modal verb in infinitive am Ende. Or if there is only modal verb in Satz, zum Beispiel hier, haben plus modal verb in perfect. And mostly it is preteritum von modal verb that is more often used than modal verb in perfect. Yeah. Wir dürfte das nicht. For example, that's used more. Wer konnte das nicht? Wer konnte das schon? Zum Beispiel. Yeah. That is used more often than this perfect in modal verb. So, any questions with regards to this portion? What we did up until now with the modal verb and perfect und so weiter.
Ja, Sir, ich habe eine Frage.
Mhm.
Äh, äh, wie, that is the sentence. Das ist nicht erlaubt, also wir dürfen nicht.
Yeah.
Why we not use erlaubt in perfect case?
You can always use it, but this is not the part that you need to. For example, over here, sie kann es schon, right? That the sentence that we need to make perfect is this one. Das ist nicht erlaubt. It is to show that something is prohibited, right? Nicht erlaubt, das darf man nicht. Yeah, for example, das ist nicht obligatorisch. Here, erlaubt, this would remain the same because it is not perfect form over here, right? It's an adverb over here. Yeah, for example, obligatorisch, erlaubt. So in German you can always das ist nicht gemacht. Yeah, das ist nicht das ist nicht gegessen. But that doesn't mean that ist comes with erlaubt. It's just that you are using it as something else, as adverb or as adjective. So this is something different. However, we need to make, so in this sentence that would be das ist nicht erlaubt, because you don't really need to use that over here, because the sentences, and if you want to make a perfect out of this, that would be das ist nicht erlaubt gewesen, right? And why is that? Why would you do this? For example, das ist nicht erlaubt, because erlaubt is here nicht perfect. Das ist hier als adjective oder adverb. So the only verb that is remaining here is ist. So you will use it as gewesen. Das ist nicht erlaubt gewesen. So that doesn't make much of sense. right? And that's why we haben das nicht gedot, the part that we needed, only that part we did. Yeah. Similarly, is it that would be here if you want to make perfect of it. Das ist nicht obligatorisch gewesen. Yeah. And for example, another thing that we do is wir haben die Aufgabe nicht ja ich habe einen Unfall gehabt, for example. That's a perfect sentence. However, we usually don't make that construction even in speaking. Simply we can replace it by ich hatte einen Unfall. That's something related to Sprachgebrauch. This is the correct one. However, you can replace that with this as well. Similarly, you don't use it often. If you want to make this ist gewesen, you can simply say, instead of that, you can simply say das war nicht erlaubt. Oder? So that sounds more in tune with what you want to do. Ist gewesen is equal to war. That would be, yeah, that would come under preteritum. Similarly, over here, habe gehabt. In order to avoid this repetition, you simply switch to past. Have I answered your question?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we don't usually make it because it doesn't look, it's a repetition sort of, right? So instead we simply switch back to past. Das war nicht erlaubt, wir haben das nicht gedurft. Yeah, instead of das ist nicht erlaubt gewesen. So that's the point over here. Okay. Any other questions? Okay. So that is it for today. And with regards to the Schumann question, whether Schumann comes with sein or haben, I'll write in the when I send this document in the Google Classroom, I'll refer to it. But
So,
yeah.
Entschuldigen Sie, modal verb plus infinitive we rarely use in speaking or in writing.
Modal verb plus infinitive we use. However, the perfect of modal verb plus infinitive, that's rare, right? Because we can simply we tend to use more often this thing. Präteritum von Modalverben, that's more often used. For example, wir dürfte das nicht. We hardly use wir haben das nicht gedurft, right?
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So it's in the speaking. That's a grammatically possibility. That's the grammatical possibility, whether you combine this, right?
Yeah.
However, going by the uses, it's not very it's very rare, so to say, not used often. So that's the thing over here. So it's a possibility, and you can always remember modal verb plus infinitive. That's the constructions. That's the construction that will come. But this would be the more often. Even in this spoken language, that's not used much. Okay. Any other?
Hello, sir. May I answer the question of Schumann?
Yeah.
Sir, in the last semester we faced the same problem. Then our teacher told us the Schumann takes haben because swimming is in particular area, not swimming and laufen. Sorry, Schwimmen und laufen takes haben because they are in limited area, I think.
If that's the case, I'll also clarify it because I was trying to avoid this because the similar cases, whether it comes under this, whether this comes under motion verbs or it doesn't, it's certainly intransitive, that I know. If we consider it in terms of nominative, it's certainly it's intransitive. However, if that translates into sein or haben, that's a little, gray area, and that's why I said I'll check it and let you know. But thanks for the input. I'll also
Most
check,
welcome, sir.
and I'll also check and also let you know about Laufen. What's the case with Laufen? It's if this is wir haben das gelaufen, or if that's the case, I'll just check in, right in the group. Okay. And that's why I
Okay,
was
sir.
avoiding this, because this is little, in the gray, whether you use and what is the logic behind it. Okay. So I'll write in the group. No worries. Any other suggestions, questions, or we are not doing this laser verständnis today. So that's it for, and we'll meet now on Friday. And in the meanwhile, I'll also send you the your scores of these three tests. Yeah. So that is it for today. If no other questions.
Auf Wiederhören, sir.
Auf Wiedersehen. Okay.
Auf Wiedersehen, sir.
Auf Wiedersehen,
Auf
sir.
Wiedersehen, sir.